Empathy. Have you felt bad for someone and wanted to help because you've been through it? Have you seen someone on the street in need of money? Have you seen someone in a bad situation and think how you would feel about it? If so, this is empathy. There are two different types of empathy, such as affective and cognitive. Affective empathy is mirroring an emotion, while cognitive empathy is putting yourself in someone else's perspective. Empathy is like an act of kindness. The more you do it, the more you become social. Some people have more empathy than others, depending if they're regularly social or isolated. Being nice to others and feeling empathy for others is not only good for others, but good for you as well. Go to rootsofempathy.org to learn more about empathy.
Why should you care about diversity? How does it affect your life, or even benefit it at all? Well, did you know that diversity can improve your mind and thinking? Diversity provides a range of skills because if you have a diverse group, you also have a diverse range of skills. And since diverse groups have many different ways of thinking, some people might learn new things and obtain better critical thinking. If you hear an opinion from someone who is different from you, you will perceive it better and think about it in a different way than if someone who is similar to you, because someone who is similar thinks about it in the same or a similar way compared to how you think about it. If you learned anything from this PSA and want to help increase diversity, please visit moreincommon.com or a similar foundation to learn more about diversity.
Throughout the 1700s and 1800s, women could have safe abortions. Women over the age of 20 and over were common to have them. It gave women the ability to have a choice. That was until the 1900s, where abortions were not only restricted but illegal as well in all of the states, a decision that was made by only male doctors. Throughout the years, there are many conflicts with the situation. Later on in the 1960s, healthcare providers went to court to fight their decisions. Eventually, in 1967, some states took down their abortion bans, and eventually more states did as well. In 2020, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, making it that the states have authority over abortion policies. Criminalizing abortions does not stop abortions, but instead makes them less safe for people, and almost every death and injury from unsafe abortions can be prevented. Abortions in Texas, South Dakota, Missouri, Oklahoma, Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi are illegal, while many other states are close to making it illegal as well. The decision made by the Supreme Court is completely violating, considering the fact that each year 1.7 to 13.2% of maternal deaths can be attributed to unsafe abortions. Taking away safe abortions takes away women's rights as well. While the issue can't be solved immediately, we can make a change in three different ways, including protesting in your local area, donating to abortion funds, and the link down below, and researching/learning about abortions in your local state to stay updated.
Sammy was the ideal child. He was loved by everyone and made his whole family so proud. However, That all changed one afternoon when his father died in front of him. That was his first loss. That was also the first time he'd seen his mother so hurt. After such a traumatic event, everything changed for Sammy. He became severely depressed. Everyone showed compassion towards him, but some time passed and his mother was starting to get her life back together, while he was still feeling the same. She started getting angry, and so did his friends, who seemed to sympathize with him at first. After that, Sammy isolated himself throughout all of his teenage years. He was scared to seek help or confide in anyone ever again. This all got in the way of him properly developing. Now he's 21 and has dropped out of school. He can't help but feel that if only he had gotten more emotional support back then, maybe his trauma would not have been left unhealed and it grew normally. Depression is the most common mental illness, affecting a total of 300 million people. Depression is the fourth leading cause of death in 15 to 29-year-olds. If you want to help yourself or a loved one suffering from depression, visit www.samhsa.gov.
Would you believe that more than 9,000 anti-Asian incidents have been reported since the beginning of this pandemic? Which means hate crimes have increased 339% nationwide last year. Imagine it is 2020. You are an Asian American. We are in this COVID period and you are going to store to buy some toilet paper. You see a shady guy following you. It is probably scary for you. You look behind and the man starts to run towards you with a knife in his hands. You quickly run and he follows. You lose him around a corner and you sprint all the way back home. After this incident, you never want to go outside again. This is what a lot of Asian Americans felt when they saw the news of many Asians getting hurt and even killed. Here are some facts. 1 in 4 Asian American youths have experienced racist bullying. The jobless rate for Asian Americans was 15% in May, then 10.7% in August. U.S. to China relationships are at their worst due to economic rivalry and other reasons. Help stop Asian hate by visiting this website, stopaapihate.org. Thank you for listening.
Did you know that in 2014, students of color attending public schools in the United States surpassed the number of white students? This milestone is quite significant, actually. It contributes to acceptance, inclusivity, the visibility of minority students, but most of all, diversity. Diversity isn't just about race or ethnicity, but rather the differences that contribute to diversity. Examples of diversity could be religion, economic status, sexual orientation, gender identity, language, disability, and as previously mentioned, race or ethnicity. By taking diversity into consideration, we as students learn the importance of it and how it'll benefit us now and in the long term. By being exposed to diversity, students learn to be open-minded. Doing so will open students to greater ideas by taking in different points of views on a topic and acknowledge each view with care and inclusion. Another way being exposed to diversity benefits a student is that students will gain a larger understanding of different cultures. To be open to diversity means to be open to differences in people and in traditions or cultures. This exposure prepares students for diverse working environments in the future and will also teach students to comprehend and understand our differences in a society. Lastly, being exposed to diversity in a school setting will prepare students for future and diverse working environments. It's important that students get used to working with those of different backgrounds because in the real world, especially here in the United States, there's a variety of cultures and workplaces. No two people are the same. Exposing students to diversity earlier on will then lead to them succeeding in the workforce. There's not much we can do for diversity in classrooms, as it's not in our control. However, we can keep an open mind about our evolving society and educate ourselves on our differences. For more information, visit the National Association for Multicultural Education. Thank you.
Why are kids going missing or getting kidnapped? Here, let me tell you some facts about abduction and kidnapping. Did you know around 5,000 kids are kidnapped each year? Did you guys also know kids are kidnapped from a family member? but most of the time, 25% of the kids are kidnapped from strangers. Can you believe every 40 seconds a child becomes missing or abducted? That is so sad to hear, and because those families are probably looking and searching for their kids. I should tell you guys how to stay safe so this doesn't happen to you or anyone else. Safety rule number 1, stay away from strangers. Rule number 2, if someone is trying to put you in their car, run and scream for help. To check the news and Amber Alerts and notifications. Thank you for being safe.
Did you know that CO2 emissions have increased by 90% since 1970? This is horrific because CO2 is a greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gases trap hotter in the atmosphere. This causes global warming and it's a problem. Why is it a problem? Countries like Australia and California have dealt with the pain and distress of severe wildfires, destroying thousands of homes for residents and causing forests to vanish, disrupting the natural habitats of animals. We have the power to save our homes, land, and animals by simply walking or biking to school, or even encouraging our policymakers to value lives as much as the economy. We can all work to build a better world.
Did you know that many African American patients tend to receive unequal healthcare compared to white patients? Healthcare plays a big role in Black life expectancy because many factors of Black deaths are revolving around healthcare. Black people suffer from health conditions more frequently. For example, in 2017, it was recorded that 12.6% of Black children were struggling with asthma compared to 7.7% of white children. Another example of this is that around 42% of African adults over the age of 20 suffer from hypertension compared to the 28.7% of white adults. These are little of many examples in the world where racism is a big problem when it comes to healthcare. Some things that you can do to help support this cause are spreading the awareness to friends and family and other loved ones that you know. You can also go online and see if there are any local protests so you can fight for the rights of the people.
The subject of our video is police brutality, and this image displays a young Black man running from a police officer before being fatally shot.
The basis for this music video is to show how police brutality has a big impact on America. Please enjoy. Yeah, yeah. Huh? These police they aim for my top. Some reason they seem as an art, and all I do is run away. I just hide and duck from the gun, cause I can't go out that way. I'm just trying to see a new day, but the pigs wanna take me away. Then they wonder why I'm feeling safe.
So much things that leave me empty. Can't you see that these things affect me? Police ain't trying to let me be free. Can't you just let me be me? That's why I don't walk alone, I stay with the team. If they get me, no justice for me. He stays out of jail cause he qualified, so why can't you see what you do to me? So much points they don't get it done. They just let me cop having fun, and they laughing when they make us run.
So I gotta make it really roll. Talking to me, but I be watching my tone to fight for equality wherever you see. So right now, this is why we gotta fight. Can I mid-20 can make anything right? We gotta make these things come to light. No more playing around at night. No more shooting teas out of spite.
My name is Jaden Ricks, and I'm going to talk to you guys about diversity in the workplace. Did you know that there is problems about diversity in the workplace? Well, if you didn't, let me tell you something about it. One fact about diversity in the workplace is that people of color either experience discrimination or get harassed. 61% of workers have experienced or witnessed discrimination in the workplace based on race or gender. Another fact I have is about diversity in the workplace is corporations identified as more diverse and inclusive are 35% more likely to outperform their other competitors in the workplace. This is a positive and good thing about the workplace. My third and final fact is that in the workplace, people of color benefit from one another's insight and apply such knowledge to their peers in the workplace. I think you should care about diversity in the workplace because the workplace is supposed to be a safe place for workers. It's also a place where any group of people should be able to share and express their ideas.
Stereotypes and microaggressions. What are they? Well, stereotypes are assumptions of certain things or the idea that people in the same group share the same characteristics. Now, what are microaggressions? They are subtle or unintentional discrimination against a certain group. Since COVID-19 started, around January 21st, 2019, there has been a surge in racially motivated crimes involving physical violence and harassment due to the fact that there is a stereotype that East Asians started COVID. COVID ended up being referred to as the Chinese flu. More than 3,800 hate incidents targeting AAPI people have been reported to the Stop AAPI Hate National Reporting Center. But keep in mind that these numbers are from 2021 and that most people are too afraid to report crimes that happened to them due to many reasons. 16% of the targets were Asian American youths ages 12 to 20 in the earlier incidents of the pandemic. AAPI hate happens everywhere, on the streets and public places like restaurants, libraries, cafes, etc., and even in schools. The majority of youth victims, around 80%, have reported being bullied or verbally harassed. Out of those, 1 in 5 incidents happened in school. Stereotypes like Asians are smart or good at the violin or piano are passed around in schools. Even though people intended these to be compliments, they are harmful stereotypes. Not everyone is the same. Due to these stereotypes, internalized racism starts to grow. Asians think that they can't be anything else and must be smart, quiet, polite, and so on. It limits people. If you would like to act on this issue or report incidents, go to stopaapihate.org.
In the US, a C-section is 15.0K. In Australia, it is 8.4K. In Africa, it's 3.2K. Healthcare costs are rising at an alarming rate. As the US being the most wealthy state, it also has the highest costs. Insurance companies are raising rates and cutting benefits while simulation increasing deductibility and copay. People are forced to pay out of pocket because they cannot afford the premium. Many people go bankrupt due to medical bills. Healthcare providers are not held accountable for their actions. Patients are often left with large medical bills and no resource. Children are less likely to accept prevent service or receive care for treatable conditions like asthma. The crazy thing is that the average price of healthcare is that the rates have gotten higher between 2014 to 2018, and obtaining care can be hard because of the lack of insurance and provider shortages. I think that we need more doctors who specialize in preventing medicines, and we also need to encourage students to go to primary care fields like family medicine, internal medicine, pediatricians, and general surgery. These areas will help us prevent diseases before they start. A hospital that can help with healthcare is St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. They help with caring for patients without making you pay a hospital bill. You can find their website at www.stjude.org.
Awesome. How do you feel about that?
Good.
Did you know that the world as a whole is emitting over 30 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year? This world is slowly burning thanks to us, and soon enough we will all die to the inferno created by our greed. Animals are going extinct en masse, including a ton of plant and tree species. This is all thanks to the human race creating waste and greenhouse gases. 50% of all single-use plastics that end up in a landfill are created by just 20 large corporations. The United States is the lead manufacturer of waste, producing over 258 million tons of waste. The United States also has the 3 largest CO2 producing companies in the world. If we do not take action and go a different path than the one we are on today, we will go extinct. Stop wasting your plastic. Recycle, you slobs. Don't use your car as much. Go for a walk for once. Do your part for humanity, for a better tomorrow.